Good morning, guys. I can't believe it, but the time has come. It is Goodwood Festival of Speed 2024. Oh my gosh, look who it is.
It's not a photo.
No, no. It's Paul Wallace, Supercars of London in the supercar paddock. That feels right.
What a surprise.
Have you seen Archie today? No. I'm hoping I just don't see Archie.
He said to me, send me your live location.
Oh yeah, he said the same.
I couldn't think of anything worse.
No, I'd rather die.
Because he would just be stood about 5 meters behind us,
be really weird.
Waiting to get in the conversation.
So, in the first hour and a half or two, seen anything you'd like?
Yeah, firstly the high downforce P1.
Yes.
But then opposite that is the Bugatti Bolide in a spec that is nuts.
Absolutely
I cannot wait to see that go up.
Well, I know you're in a rush, so I'll let you go. But we gotta catch up this week.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so I just did a dedicated video to the supercar paddock on my main channel. And as you can see, there's so many people here that you pretty much can't film anymore. So I got here right in the morning, sprinted around, got a bunch of footage without people, and now it's just kind of people with the side of cars. How incredible is this? The Mclaren Solus GT track-only race car with a 5.2 liter naturally aspirated V10 making over 800 horsepower. One of the best parts is this cockpit that slides backwards like a fighter jet. Look at the level of downforce this thing creates. I love how you can see that suspension. So I want to do a full tour of the Goodwood campus. I feel like in videos in the past, I've kind of focused on individual sections, and it's probably hard for people who haven't been here to understand what the Goodwood campus actually looks like. I got to run to the media center real quick to get a pass. Look at this. So we're crossing over from the supercar paddock to the other side, and there's already a ridiculous line just to walk over, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Little shortcut through the forest to the media center. All right, a little pit stop before we hit the media center, because this is one of the craziest selection of Zondas I've ever seen in my life. How insane is this? Full exposed carbon Zonda 760 Attack with the absolutely insane roof scoop and wing setup. These things were already unbelievably valuable, but recently they have shot up astronomically. Something like this is in the $10 to $20 million range, and that's not even a Cinque or a Tricolore. Zonda Nero. I haven't actually seen this before. That is so classy. I love this little shark fin right there. And then we've got a gorgeous all blue Zonda S. Wow. These are such pretty cars, although from what I've heard, they are a bit of a handful to drive and very easy to crash. Here's another Zonda I've never seen before, the Zonda PS, in both blue exposed carbon fiber and normal exposed carbon fiber, contrasted with that yellow stripe. The yellow calipers, beautiful roof scoop, and then we've got yellow stitching in there as well. I love that shark fin. And then check this out, that quad titanium exhaust is insane. And then the Zonda PS logo that I have never seen before. Every year they've got a really cool statue right by Lord Marsh's house. This year we've got two MGs, an original and the Cyberster at the right. The weather today is absolutely perfect. I mean, come on, is this not actually insane? It's pretty ridiculous. I'll give you a little inside scoop of something I've never showed before. This is the media center where everybody can work. Christine's here. We've got Wi-Fi, it's covered, there's food, there's drinks, there's coffee. So when you first walk into Goodwood Festival of Speed, you're met with the supercar parking area. It's this massive lot on the grass where a bunch of people can actually pay to put their own cars effectively in the show. So let's take a tour of some of the vehicles here because it's pretty epic. How cool is this? An E90 M3 wagon in a beautiful orange color with BBS wheels. I love the fact that this thing is a wagon. That is absolutely badass. Akrapovic exhaust as well. And next to it, we've got a beautiful 911 Sport Classic. This thing is so beautiful looking. I want to review one of these so bad. And that is easily the best way to arrive at Goodwood in a helicopter. Those of you who have been with the Vehicle Versions channel for a while will remember this is the exact color Blue Le Mans of my 812 Superfast. It's actually a really similar spec. This is a GTS, the convertible, which is a little bit cooler, but we got yellow calipers and a very similar interior to the one I had. Nice Mustang Mach 1. I feel like these things are underrated. And next to it, the F12, the predecessor to the 812 Superfast. Love these Amiras as well. Caterham Super 7, pretty cool. There's actually an overwhelming amount of cars in the parking lot alone. This has got to be one of the craziest parking setups of any car show. I absolutely love these. The De Tomaso Panteras, they effectively look like Countachs, but in some elements, they actually might even look cooler. De Tomaso is obviously coming out with that P72. I really hope that that thing actually debuts with a V12 instead of a V8 engine because, well, obviously a V12 is way better. But look at the rear end of this. I mean, that is straight Lamborghini Countach vibes. And next to it, a gorgeous 430. Is this James May's car? I don't know. How cool is this? A Roof 997 GT3. Awesome color. And look at this rally car pulling in. I absolutely love these bronze wheels. That looks epic. Nice NSX next to it as well. And then look at that, another 812 Superfast. How insane is the wrap on this Aventador? And I just realized it's actually a friend of mine and fellow content creator, Pog. Look at this thing. I mean, that is absolutely wild. The detail is actually really impressive. Love it or hate it, it definitely stands out. I think I actually really like it. As you can see, the sea of cars is absolutely endless in every direction, so I'll stop by in the next couple of days because I could probably dedicate 30 minutes plus to just this area alone. We got to check out the rest of the show. One of the best looking cars ever, the Zagato Shooting Brake. These things used to be a better part of $1 million, and for whatever reason, they've actually tanked in value recently, and they're worth about half that. The rear end of the Shooting Brake is just so gorgeous. I love those taillight designs. Man, this thing is epic. Once you pass the supercar parking area, there are a whole bunch of food areas and picnic benches to sit at. One of the craziest cars here, the Oil Stain Labs Half 11, this Frankenstein Porsche with an unbelievably cool design language. It's got gull-wing doors, and the craziest part is it's got an LS engine with 650 horsepower. A lot of Porsche purists would freak out, but I absolutely love that. The exhaust looks kind of similar to the Wyra R with that white paint. Let's get a load of the inside. This must be absolutely savage to drive, and it just looks so darn cool. How insane is this? A Mercedes truck with what I believe is a 300 SLR Roadster on the back of it. I'm wondering if this is a model because it's got no exhaust sticking out of it, and this is a basically a priceless car just sitting here out in the open if it is actually real. That is so darn cool. Oh, we got the exhaust on this side. So we've got the driver sign-on area with a slew of different Lamborghinis, Sesto Elemento, Reventon, Revuelto, and a Countach. Pretty cool to see all of these Lamborghinis next to each other. Dream review would be the Sesto Elemento. So now we are over in Mclaren's section of Goodwood Festival of Speed. They always have a booth in the same area, and they've got some cool stuff this year. They've got the legendary Mclaren P1, but check out what's behind it. The ultimate hypercar, the ultimate holy grail car, the Mclaren F1. How wild is this? They've opened up the back of the car so you can see that V12. Look at the exhaust work. That incredible carbon fiber intake airbox and that gold exhaust with the gold heat shield is unbelievably cool. And then taking a look at the car's interior with that center seat layout. In the other video, we talked about the Gordon Murray T50 that this was styled after. Can't imagine what this is like to drive. Just such a good looking vehicle. Someday I'd love to review one of these. And then how insane is the spec on this McLaren Senna? I don't think I've ever seen one in this livery before. I mean, that is absolutely wild. This might be maybe my new favorite spec Senna. Wow. How crazy is this, guys? This is the Alpine Alpenglow, and it actually runs on hydrogen. This is a running prototype that makes 340 horsepower running on hydrogen, and the design language is absolutely insane. I mean, look at that wheel design, the cameras on the side, and then one of the craziest parts is the rear end back here. Look at this fully transparent wing on the back and transparent sections of the rear diffuser that I imagine illuminate. That is absolutely wild. I'm curious what you guys think of this. Okay, I've seen planes with 2 jet engines. I've also seen planes with 4, but look how many fans or turbines, whatever these things are on each wing. That is absolutely insane. The spec on this Revuelto is absolutely crazy. The matte gray with the red accents, 1,001 horsepower. One of my favorite design elements of the Revuelto is the fact that there's no engine cover. It's just open to the elements, which is just such a cool concept. This thing honestly looks so impressive in the flesh if you haven't seen one before. Beautiful Zonda Roadster just casually sitting here in this hospitality area. Yellow is such a good color on the Zonda. Then on the other side, a gorgeous Huayra Roadster. Entering the home base of Lanzante now. We might come back when it's a little less hectic, but check out some of the cars here. This is the P1 HDK, and it makes, look at that, 1,000 horsepower. That is nuts. Not to mention, it looks absolutely insane. I love those wheels. And the craziest part has to be that rear end with the P1 GTR style wing, yet it's road legal. Here's a product from Lanzante I have never seen before. This is a Speedtail, which you wouldn't think they need to do anything on because it was already road legal, but apparently they rebuilt it from the ground up, redid the chassis, the wiring, the electronics, and redid it with an epic paint job. I wonder if it's secretly hiding a little bit more power, but I love the livery on this thing. All right, guys, behind me is one of the craziest vehicles ever created. It is a P1 GTR drift car with a 3-rotor 20B motor making 1,000 horsepower. Yes, that's right. How wild is that? This car was built for Mad Mike in conjunction with Red Bull, and it actually started life not as a P1, but as a 650S GT3. Then they partnered with Lanzante to put a whole bunch of P1 GTR style body panels, and they even put a drift stick as well as a rotary engine in it. I mean, look how aggressive this is. The canards, that beautiful front bumper, P1 style hood. We've got those incredible fender vents. The door itself is super aggressive, these rotiform wheels with the aero covers coming along the side. Let's go ahead and check out the interior. We've got a hydraulic drift brake, really cool steering wheel, looks like a drift car inside, beautiful bucket seats, and then the real magic happens at the rear. This is the type of car you would never imagine would be created. A 3-rotor Mazda motor inside of a Mclaren. I mean, look at the exhaust setup, and the size of the turbo right there is absolutely ridiculous. Check out that rear diffuser. I love the fact that not only is the P1 GTR already wide, they've added a bolt-on wide body kit. They've widened the fenders even further and then rolled the fenders to fit these ridiculously stretched tires over these wheels. I mean, that is crazy. Look how low it is as well. Those dual intakes and the size of that Garrett turbo is absolutely crazy. I mean, honestly, that's about as insane as it gets. I've never even met the guy, and I'm proud of him for accomplishing this. A drift 3-rotor McLaren P1 GTR. Unreal.